Hello and welcome. My name is Tony K, UGSM, living the dream as always, and today I'm going to break down the secret layers that have just been announced this week. I'm going to do it a little bit different than my past videos. Want to say a few things before I get rolling. First off, I don't own any of the background music that you hear. That is video game music that's been remixed in some form or fashion, and I just love listening to it. Second, uh, you're going to see across some of these slides the average card prices. I'll talk more about each one individually as it's appropriate, but I did for the most part just go for the cheapest version of said card. And finally, guys, if you like the content, like, comment, share, subscribe, whatever you can do on whatever platform, it helps. And it's very appreciated. Um, every one of those notifications means something. With no further ado, let's get right into it. We were just told a couple days ago, it is the 19th of October today. We were told a couple days ago, we're getting a whole bunch of these new secret layers. I'm going to talk about them today. And the first one we got on the screen is the weirdest pets in the universe. Or in the multiverse, excuse me. So, we're looking at 30 for regular, 40 for foil. And before we even look at the cards, you'll see that I have the card average. So again, if you were to go out and just buy the cheapest versions of these cards, this is about the average of what you would pay for them. And I do apologize, this first image for some reason cut off and gave me a little more white. None of the other images are like that. But this secret layer has 5 cards. We have Laboratory Maniac. We have Visor of the Menagerie. I don't know. Stitcher Supplier, Wood Elves, Beast Whisperer. So overall, if you were to go and buy these 5 cards individually, it would be just about half the price. Maybe a little bit less, maybe a little bit more, but just about half the price of what the non-foil version of the secret layer is going to be. In terms of the secret layer itself, I thought the art was really cool. I really like the excuse me. I really like the fact that Laboratory Maniac has this professor, scientist-looking fool holding up a creature. So it kind of ties the card name and the theme. I mean, these other ones are all really cool, but this is probably my favorite art here by far. I will not be purchasing this one. First off, I don't need any of these cards. Second off, while the art is great, I can always pick up individuals on the secondary market. And third is the value is really poor, in my opinion. Secret layers, if I'm going to purchase a secret layer, it has to do one of two things for me. It has to hit a very specific interest that I have, or it has to have very good value. So this one falls short of both of those, so I'll be passing on it. Up next, we have Totally Spaced Out Galaxy. This comes in foil only. We got 4 cards: Ash Baron, Command Beacon, Fable Passage, and Strip Mine. I attempted to do a card average, what the total would be, but unfortunately Strip Mine skews it, because if you go look at the foil copies of Strip Mine, almost all of them are more than what this secret layer is going to cost. So just based on that simple fact, this secret layer is worth it. If you need a Strip Mine and you really wanted it in foil, as long as you don't hate the art, I think this is actually a really good deal on a secret layer. Sorry to get a sip of my beverage. Other than Strip Mine, though, we have 3 interesting cards. Ash Barons, that card's under 50 cents. Command Beacon, very good card in Commander, so I'm really happy to see that. And Fable Passage, kind of a new fetch land that's come out over the past few years. We've gotten a few printings of it. Overall, the art, not bad on these. I understand the galactic feel that they're trying to give us. You know, it's kind of in my opinion. It's just, you know, it is what it is. This is not the set for me. So, let's move on to our next one. The Space Beyond the Stars. Very interesting. We've got 4 cards: Imprisoned by the Moon, Stasis, Prismatic Omen, Wheel of Sun and Moon. Foil is 40, the non-foil is 30, and the average for the non-foil is going to be about $27, $28. So, a few things. First off, love the art here. Absolutely one of my favorite art designs that they've done, where it's not an artist, it's just a theme. So definitely one of my favorite ones they've done. And Prismatic Omen has some value. I think it was only printed in Shadowmoor, so I can use the Heroes and Legends one per video. During that time period in Magic, cards weren't printed as much, so there's less copies, and they tend to get a little spiky when people pay attention to them. If you get the reference, comment below. But if you don't, I apologize. Heroes and Legends is a wonderful market watch content creator for the Magic the Gathering community. But Prismatic Omen and Stasis are definitely the two here that stick out to me. Wheel of Sun and Moon, it's a good card, in my opinion, but it doesn't get as much play as you would think. And then Imprisoned by the Moon, very, very interesting card, because you look at it, it's like, oh, creature, land, or planeswalker, you can really mess with them. I think this came out in, like, not the first Eldrazi blocks, but, like one of the Zendikars or whatever. And this was kind of I remember when this card was in Standards, like, well, if you have those big creatures that you are having a hard time dealing with, just imprison them in the moon. So, this one I'm right on the line with in terms of if I would get it or not. There isn't any cards in here that I specifically need for my collection or need for decks. This would definitely be more of a cool piece to have. And if nothing else, I'll probably go and get Stasis and Wheel of Sun and Moon off the secondary market after the sets come out. So up next, we have our first artist series. I'm probably going to say the name wrong, but Yoji Shinkawa. You can get this in English or Japanese. Regardless, regular will be 30, foil will be 40. 4 cards in this one: Phyrexian Metamorph, Tezzeret the Seeker, Skullclamp, and Sad Robot, Solemn Simulacrum. I think that's how I say it. The average for these cards, and this is with Skullclamp going down in price due to its recent reprinting in the Warhammer set, you're over $30. So, very interesting that we have a $30 regular non-foil in English or Japanese. And then Tezzeret, Skullclamp, those make up a big portion of your value here. Phyrexian Metamorph is nice, and then Sad Robot I think is a couple bucks. This is a pretty cool secret layer. Again, like with a lot of these, I really enjoy the art. I really enjoy the theme. Specifically Skullclamp. I like this art, and I like the Warhammer 40k art. This is one that, I would be intrigued in purchasing. Likely in English, not in a foreign language. But there isn't really any other cards in here that I'm playing at a high clip outside of Skullclamp. I didn't really play Tezzeret. So, here's our other artist series. Junji Ito, I believe is how you say his name, or her name. And again, in English or Japanese, regular is going to be 30, foil is going to be 40. Let's look at the cards real quick. Carrion Feeder, Doomsday, Plague Crafter, and Thoughtseize. If you were to go and purchase these cards individually, you would pay around $33, $34. Obviously, we can look at this and say we're making all of our money that we're getting out of this. We're making all that money off of Thoughtseize and Doomsday. Love the art. Again, just like with a lot of these secret layers, if we're just taking away the card, the playability of the card and just looking at the art, very cool stuff. Carrion Feeder is a card that a few years ago, when my play group was still into 60 card Magic before EDH really took over, I had a deck where you sacrifice creatures, and Carrion Feeders was one of the ones that you sacrifice to. So that's pretty cool. Plague Crafter, I like the art. These are junk commons on their best day. So, kind of blah. Doomsday and Thoughtseize, though, very, very cool. And that's pretty much where all your money is in this set. The two of them together are over $30. Plague Crafter and Carrion Feeder are just a little bit of the icing on the cake. Up next, this one's going to be fighting for worst secret lair of this release, in my opinion, if looks could kill. We got 4 cards, again, $30 non-foil, $40 foil. The card average is $22. For all of these together, if you were to buy them outside of the secret lair, $22. Azami Lady of the Scrolls, I was really surprised that that card is under $1. Liliana of the Dark Realms is pretty much where all your value is here. I think she's like somewhere in that 17 to 19 range. Maybe closer to 17. Reflector Mage has had ups and downs throughout the years. That's a card that's really based on the meta and if it's being played in formats. And then Adaptive Automaton, it's good for your creature builds. It's good for EDH, you know, couple bucks. I'm gonna say something I haven't said yet here today. Don't care for the art. Not my thing. I really didn't like the Liliana multiple arms. It's just not for me. Not my style. Not something I find really intriguing. And that's, you know, a big part of the reason why, besides just the value. Those are the big reasons why I'm passing on this one. Sort of disappointed with the card selection here. And I'm sure you could probably get all 4 of these cards for under 20 bucks. That's really bad for a secret lair to have that much variant in the price of the singles versus the actual secret lair. And here's our other shit one for this video and this drop. We have Blood Bowl. So at first I thought this was like a Warhammer 40k themed deal, like some of the other ones that we're getting. Nope. There's no mention of it. Blood Bowl is $30 regular, $40 foil, and you would be hard pressed to go over $20 if you wanted to purchase these 6 cards out in the wild. So let's start with the most egregious issues here. Bone Splitter and Fling are cards that you generally just throw in the trash. Rewind, under 50 cents. Fellowar Stone, under $1. Approach of the Second Sun, maybe $1 to $2. And Defense of the Heart, you're looking at 15 to 17. Depending on where you get it, what they're trying to get out of it, things like that. Overall, I went through and under $20 for all these. So, not very impressed with that. There were certain people who had all these cards on their pages on like TCG Player, and I was able to actually with one person. Now, Defense of the Heart obviously doesn't have the skins, and Defense of the Heart was not near mint. I think it was medium play, but I was under 15 bucks. And it was free shipping. So for under 15 bucks without shipping, I could have ordered them right then and there. Something to think about if you're liking these cards. Now on the other side of that, just like with a lot of these secret lairs, if the art speaks to you, that's kind of the deal. That's kind of the point of these secret lairs. Is that the art or the theme or something really speaks to you. Nothing here speaks to me, but I wouldn't hold it against anyone that thought, oh, you know, I just really like those cards. Whether you want to have them on display in your home, or maybe you genuinely have some decks that you would play these in. I don't know for sure, but I imagine at least Bone Splitters, if not that and Fling, see some Pauper play. Throwing that out there. We got a couple of Warhammer 40k cards with skins to talk about. Let's start with Warhammer Age of Sigmar. So 4 of these cards have a new skin. First one is Blind Obedience. It does not. The other 4 all do. So we have Blind Obedience. We have Damitha, Captain Paragon, some shit like that. Scourge of the Throne, Loxodon Warhammer, and Nahila of the Blade Blossom. This, to me, is what a secret layer that is bringing in another IP, like Warhammer 40k, should do. It should have cards that are A, popular, so Nahila, Scourge, he's played, even Loxodon sees some play. But also has value. If you were to go out and purchase all of these cards individually, their original printings, the cheapest versions possible, you still would be paying more than the price of the secret layer. So this is one of those where if you need a couple of the cards, if you're a Warhammer 40k fan, if you're looking to just pick up some secret layers, and these are cards that you would play and you've been wanting to get in, this is actually a really good secret layer. And I think it'll have some trade value down the way if you ever decide to go that route, or some sell value because it is Warhammer 40k. So it's a intellectual property that Wizards or that Magic the Gathering doesn't necessarily own. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. I'm not a Warhammer 40k fan. I've never played it. Don't really understand the game. Never really got into it. But for the most part, I feel like the art on this one, the other secret layer, and even the set itself, pretty good, pretty well done. And here's the other Warhammer 40k. This one is called Orcs. Again, $30 or $40, and the card average would be more to buy them individually than getting it through here. We have Aggravated Assault, and then we have 4 skins on the remaining 4 cards. Merciless Executioner, that's an Orc. Zurgo, everyone's favorite Mardu Orc legendary creature. Krenko, 10th Street Kingpin, that is a Goblin, not an Orc. And then we've got a little bit of that vehicle action. Between the two Warhammer 40Ks, I'm actually a little bit more annoyed with this one, and here's why. First off, I believe that there's other Orcs within the game of Magic the Gathering that they could have reprinted and made this a little bit better, where they wouldn't have to use a Goblin or a vehicle. Second is that a lot of the value in this is tied to Aggravated Assault. Very heavy. Very heavy. I think more than 60, maybe even more than 70% of the value is tied into Aggravated Assault. And it's going to go down a little bit from this printing. So this is a one to be careful of because it doesn't hold to the Orc theme, unless maybe Goblins and Orcs are friends. I just didn't know that. But I also think, like, man, this is just kind of a weird spot where Aggravated Assault, all the cards are going to go down in value a little bit when new copies enter the market. Aggravated Assault is a card to me that, while good, I'd be wary of making that the main reason why I buy this secret layer. Again, if you're a Warhammer fan, if you like the art, if you need these cards, whatever it is, maybe you want to build Zurgo, and you would use some of these other cards in that build. Go for it. No judgment here, just from what I'm saying for me. Alright. Up next, we got 2 more to do and then we're out of here. Post Malone themed is going to be the way we finish this up. We got the Post Malone land. So you are getting 5 basic lands that you see on the screen. And $30 for the regular, $40 for the foil. You are getting 5 basic lands that Post Malone drew some pictures on and they re-imaged them onto everything else. 5 of them for $30 or $40. That is awful. I'm not judging people who buy Secret Layer basic land packages, but with the exception of the fact that these are all unique arts that they did in the land, I don't care about any of this. If you like Post Malone, if you like Magic the Gathering, any of that, and this is something that speaks to you, that's your money, that's your call. Me personally, I think this is a huge, huge money grab. Very greedy, and I'll talk more about it in just a second. I want to wrap up the view of all of these and talk about the Post Malone Backstage Pass. $30 and $40 per the regular and foil printing breakdown we have. The card average here, this is by far the best return on or best value investment of this secret lair, because it's just about $50 to get these 4 cards in their non-Post Malone skins. 4 cards are Bolas Citadel, Kirk, Son of Yawgmoth, Jet Medallion, and I can't really read the writing here, but we'll just say Post Signal. Sigil. Sorry. Getting a little tired. So, the 2 cards in the middle are where you're making most of your money. Bolas Citadel goes up and down. I've seen as high as 10, as low as 5. So you're getting some decent value there. Jet Medallion on its own is close to 20. This is a good secret lair for many reasons. It has a card in Jet Medallion that even if you don't care about this, you could buy this secret lair, keep this, and sell off the other 3 cards or trade them, and you'd probably break out even if not just a little bit ahead. Second is it has playable cards in it. That's a big deal. That's a very big deal. Didn't know what we would get when they announced the Post Malone was getting a secret lair. They have very playable cards. I don't care for the skins on it. Like, I've seen the joke, we get it, Post Malone plays Magic. I don't think it's bad that he plays Magic. I don't even think it's bad that Magic promotes that he plays. I think it's just a little annoying after a while that this is what they're focusing on versus on the other things it could be. That's another day, another video. Going back just a second, though, to talk about the lands, the Post Malone lands. My biggest critique of the secret lair drop is that these 2 should have been combined. For 1 price, I think that it's... I think this is a real good opportunity for Magic the Gathering to have fans of the artist Post Malone invest in their game. I think you're going to have a lot of people who like Post Malone but don't necessarily know about Magic, hear about this, and want to see what's going on. So, while the lands might be trash, I thought that this was an interesting selection, because now you have a couple cards. You have 3 cards, basically. You could go 4 if you wanted to use Post Sigil, where you can build that commander, and you've got your commander and a couple of big swinging cards in it already. So I thought that was pretty smart. I just really wish they would have combined these 2. I really do. I'm not going to get it. It's just not for me. It's really not for me. And again, totally fine. Of all of these, there's not much in here that I absolutely want in this secret lair. But I feel like this is one of the weaker secret lair drops, super drops that they've done. There's a couple of good value drops in here, but overall, you have multiple that are, half, 75% of the value. Some of them that just have really weak cards, or just have cards that, it's the skin is the only thing special about it. And maybe that's the way they're going. I don't know. If you guys like these secret lairs, go purchase them. Just go do it. If you only like a single card or 2 out of it, wait till they get released and then purchase the single. There's no shame in enjoying these. I will say, as long as you're aware that things like this are happening, and that when you purchase these secret lairs, you encourage WotC to continue doing these, then I got no argument. As long as you're aware that you're supporting them when you do this, then that's fine. Because there are some in here that I'm sure are going to sell fairly well. I'm sure these Warhammer 40Ks are going to do pretty well. I'd be shocked if Blood Bowl sold well. I think this artist, Junji Ito, is going to do very well. That the imagery with Thoughtseize and Doomsday is pretty dope. Even Yoji Shinkawa, I think this is another one that's going to do really well. So if you like these secret lairs, absolutely go for it. There's certainly a few in here that give you an opportunity to get some really good cards with unique art on them. Either way around it, I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. These are all the new secret lairs. I'm kind of tailing off here, getting tired. But tell me what you think. Comment below. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share, and we'll see you next time.